Welcome to Build. I'm your host, Ricky Camilleri. It is one of the most fun shows currently running. It's filled with tricks and crimes and cons and cops. One of them played by my next guest, Shane McRae. He's Taylor Bowman of the Bowman family clan in Sneaky Pete. Let's take a quick look at season 2 of the hit Amazon show.
Pete.
Pete?
Pete! I conned this entire family into thinking I'm Pete.
Hey, Pete, where's the farm? Hi, Grandma. It's me, Pete.
Thank you for being the one family member who's always straight with me.
You're getting too close to these people.
Trust me.
I worry when you say trust me.
Thought you left town.
I'm just tying up some loose ends.
Ow. Hey, Pete. We want you to take us to your mother. We need $11 million. You got 72 hours before we start clipping your family.
How'd you propose on finding it?
Pete, hi. How you doing, buddy?
You made me up.
Oh, wait!
You break me down and build me up. You made me a believer.
There's $11 million on the line.
How are we gonna pull this off? It's physically impossible.
The trick is always impossible until it isn't.
There are too many secrets in this family.
Do you understand how bad this is?
Get your gun and shoot through the door.
You ever been on the run, Marius?
My whole life.
Everybody, please welcome Shane McRae. Sure, thanks so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Congratulations on season 2 of Sneaky Pete.
Thank you very much.
What is it like? I mean, we had Margot, we had Giovanni here last week. It seems like a fun show to be on. You have one of the great show writers sort of ushering it through each season. I imagine you have like wonderful dialogue and you show up with these great scripts.
It's really been a kind of a dream job for me. I mean, Graham is so good at creating this world, and he gave Taylor a lot to do this season. So it felt like I felt so blessed because Taylor, because I'm a cop and I'm also in the family and I'm also have this love affair going on. I'm juggling a lot. Yeah. So he was able to kind of delve into Taylor's problems. And
well, he also gave you a big moral quandary this season as well, and sort of gave you a bit of a dive into the underworld.
Into the darkness.
Yeah.
Yeah, the whole family. I mean, we all kind of start off as this pretty relatively normal, dysfunctional family, and then get involved in this crime. And now what are you going to do? How far will you go to protect your family? And that's kind of I think Graham says that this season's theme is consequence. So we're dealing with what happened last season, you know.
What is it like? It is a cliche question to ask an actor, like, what's it like working with this actor? But Margot Martindale is here, and that woman is a pistol. What is it like working with her on a daily basis on set?
I'm not exaggerating. I talk to Margot probably every day. I don't think it's
like whether you're working together or not.
No, I mean I say this genuinely. She's probably my best friend. I mean, literally, we talk all the time. She is hilarious.
Yeah,
I mean,
she is one of the.
You cannot. She is completely unfiltered, and so warm, but also going to be so honest, you know. And
that was the thing. Like in the conversation that I had with her in the green room, I can't say what she talked about here, but like I was like, oh, we're talking about this. This is a. Hello, nice to meet you, Miss Martindale.
I have laughed till I cried many times. Her and Peter Garrity, we were stuck in a car at the end of season 1. We were stuck in a car for like 5 hours. It was raining and we couldn't go anywhere, and it was we were in Chinatown. And they started just going off on different things, and I started making fun of Peter. They do this thing where they sing songs to each other, like old show tunes, like from 1835.
Like a couple of old actors do.
Yeah, I don't know. Where they're like, oh, remember this one? She was, and so I'm sitting there just kind of making fun of Peter and trying to get Margot to laugh. And we We literally laughed for 2 hours till she was like, "We have to stop. I'm about to wet my pants if I laugh any harder." So, we always make fun of Marin. I don't know if you've had her on here, but she does an incredible Margot Martindale
Does she really?
impersonation. So you'll have to get her to do that sometime.
Wow. Does she do it for Margot too?
Oh yeah, yeah. We make little videos with like a picture of Margot and Marin talking behind her, like, "What the hell's going on around here? I just don't understand. This is all bullshit. This is bullshit."
So it sounds like the cast is really built up of a group of people who can kind of take the piss out of each other, which is
It's lovely.
necessary for a show that is all about people kind of taking the piss out of each other all the time.
Yeah, it's really been a fortunate. We've been together for a long time. This pilot we shot.
That's right. Ribisi said that the pilot was shot like a year before you guys moved into the first season.
Yeah, I mean maybe it was like 3.5 years ago that we shot the first episode, and then it was at CBS, and then we had all this time of waiting, and that's when we started. That's when me and Margot bonded on the phone. Like, "Have you heard anything? I haven't heard anything. Have you heard?" We're both gossips, so we're and nervous Nelly, so we're always, "I don't know what's happening with the show. I don't know."
Little known fact about me: voted class gossip in high school.
Really? Yeah.
Just wanted to let everybody know. I know I know you were thrilled to hear it. So
What I don't understand is
blown
what kind of high school has that as a thing that you vote on,
I don't know. They had those things called superlatives,
right?
and everyone voted on it. And for some reason, I decided that I wanted class gossip. So for a week, I went around and I was like,
You campaigned on it.
I campaigned and I created rumors and like told people them and.
I want one of those 7 deadly sins to be associated with my name. Gossip. I don't even know is that a 7 deadly sin?
No, but I mean, it's a much darker place to go, a much darker accolade to take.
I don't know what it says about my high school that I was voted, and this was the name of the award, most friendliest.
You just went to a grammatically incorrect high school.
Yeah,
it sounds like.
I don't know why no one never really pointed that out to anybody.
It sounds like one of those things where if you did point it out, like offense would be taken immediately.
Yeah, I don't think.
No,
that
that's
was
just
something-
what it is.
I just
It's
was happy
most
to be
friendliest.
most friendliest. So.
Were you that friendly?
I was friendly. I was nice. I'm from the South, so everybody was nice for the most part, except the people who were really, really not nice.
Right. The disparity is quite large in the South. There.
Yeah, it is. It is. We don't even need
middle
to go
ground.
there. Yeah. So everybody was like at least outwardly friendly, but I think I was a liked person, and they didn't know what else to do with me. So I either was gonna win best dressed as kind of an ironic joke because I was terribly dressed, or they settled on most friendliest.
Did you get into acting in high school? Is that when you started acting?
I did. I wanted to be a football player, but I was late to bloom. So I was
Not good.
So I thought I was really good when I was playing against my brother, who's 5 years younger than me. But I was
Tackling the shit out of him.
I was fucking destroying that kid. He could not get a first down.
Have you ever been clipped? Okay, go over there. Let me show you.
I'm going to show you how it's done. So then I'll tell you the moment I became an actor. I was 85 pounds, picked to play 7th grade football. We had to pick, and they put me at linebacker. And there was this kid named Anthony Bell. He was like 21 in the 7th grade. He had been held back several times. He had a mustache. I mean, I didn't even have hair under my arms. Dude had a full beard. Children. I think he had children. And he came up, he got the ball, came up, broke through the middle. And I remember thinking, this isn't going to be that hard. This can't be that bad. And going down and hitting him. And then I have it's one of my most vivid memories. I remember looking down at the ground because I was in the air so long and thinking, this shit ain't going to work. And then I hit the ground and I started planning on how to be an actor.
That's about right. That's about right.
Yeah.
I wasn't planning to be an actor, but I did junior varsity football in freshman year of high school.
Yeah.
They made me be quarterback, like second string. They put me in. I had the ball. Some kid was coming at me. I saw the kid. Fuck this.
Yeah.
I went and joined drama club.
Yeah. Nope, that's exactly. I was like, I can do drama club. Like, I can just be a total fucking idiot. And people say it's good. This is so weird.
I get to just dick around all day. This is awesome.
Literally, they're like, oh, you're so natural. I'm like, I'm not doing shit. Just being a goofball, so.
What was your first big role? The first role that you were like, oh, I actually really enjoy this process and want to take part in it.
What was my first role? I don't even remember the names of the plays I was in high school. I think I played Bottom in Midsummer Night's Dream. But see, my problem was I didn't actually ever work at anything in high school. So I'd memorize the lines the night before. And then I would do a passable job, and then I would think I was a genius because I hadn't worked on it. You know what I mean? Oh, he was fantastic. Yeah, just think if I would have worked. But I'm not going to do that.
Meanwhile, it was like your parents and their friends. You were fantastic.
Right,
you
right.
dropped so many
well,
lines.
You're delusional. I mean, you have to be delusional to go into acting. Yeah. And then you hope that it works out, you know. When I look back at the years of sort of, you're like, oh, I'm just gonna go into this. This is like an ideal career choice.
Yeah.
Right? This, you know, I've been fortunate, but it's totally based on delusion. So.
What was the first role that you got?
I think I really started sort of getting serious about it. I realized like, oh, this is something that I actually truly like. I went to University of Evansville in Indiana and studied acting there, and then I went to grad school. But I think my first role that I by the time I was a senior in high school, I was like, okay, I'm sure I was god awful, but for the small town Mississippi drama club, I was pretty good. So.
No, but I mean role. Sorry, like professional role.
Professionally, my first role that I got out of school, and I got into this Broadway play called Take Me Out.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's a great play. I've never seen it, but I've read it. Yeah,
it's a great play. And fun fact about that play: you have to be totally naked. Everybody in the whole thing, and I'm not really a naked guy. So my first rehearsal, I didn't have rehearsals. I was what they call a put-in. So this guy was leaving, and I was going to come into the role.
So it had already been running for.
It'd been running for like 6 months, and I think it had already won a Tony, and it was doing really well. And so one of the guys was leaving. So I auditioned, and I happened to get the part, and then I had to have a rehearsal. Then I rehearsed with the stage manager for a couple of days. And then they said, okay, well, you're going to go on. I think I had a week to get ready. And then they said, okay, you're going to go on. You're going to have to do a put-in rehearsal. So we had this put-in rehearsal where everybody comes in. And I was the first person to, like, take over for a role. So all these producers and stuff came into town, and all watched in the audience. And it was a kind of like, even when I'm thinking back on it now, it seems like it was actually a dream, because what happened was there's this shower scene. It's about a gay baseball player and how uncomfortable the situation is. So there's this shower scene where all the guys are naked on stage in their showers. But in the put-in, these guys have been doing it for 7 or 8 months. They didn't want to get wet. So I was the only one naked, and the rest of the guys were just standing around in their jeans while I was sitting there. Just getting wet, they're doing their lines, it was like an out-of-body experience, and that was my first. After that, opening night was nothing for me.
Right. If you were like, if I'm good with this, then I think I'm going to be all right.
If I can do that, then I'm not worried about an audience.
So when you got Sneaky Pete, did you walk into Graham Yost, the showrunner's office, and were like, look, I can get naked. I don't know if you saw Take Me Out, but whatever you need.
I actually said, look, Graham, I'm never getting naked again. No, I didn't. I was thankfully not put in that position to worry about it unless they change things up this season. You'll never know.
How did they pitch Taylor to you going into the second season? What did he talk? I mean, I know it picks up literally right where the last season left off, and it's a very short window of time that the second season takes place over. Was there a pitch or an idea of Taylor's arc that they brought to you, or were they like, you know where it's going? You saw where we left off. I'm sure you have an idea.
I mean, I had a little bit of an idea. Graham and Fred and all the writers are so good. I mean, they didn't write the pilot, so they basically watched the pilot and then developed the story out of that pilot, and they had really done an amazing job at. I mean, I kind of knew that the arc was going to continue because it hadn't finished in the first season. I knew that Taylor was basically a man-child, a bro. Kind of guy.
But not so much in
season 2, right? He, through the course of the 2 seasons, he kind of finds himself. He starts off as this kind of just loose cannon who can't control himself and is all instinct. And I think the story of Taylor is kind of coming into his own and finding himself strangely through this crime and through having to protect his family. He kind of finds who he really is. And I mean, the Taylor that you see at the end of season 2 is completely different and so much more whole than the guy who comes in at the beginning of season 1. And so this story, from Taylor's point of view, is all about that sort of change, and this being the period in his life when he sort of has that thing that flips. And it really happens a little bit. The beginning of it happens in the scene in season 1 with Marius, where he says, I say, "What the fuck, man? What are you doing? You pop my tire." And he says, "Who are you? Who are you?" And sort of leads Taylor down this path,
I'm curious, as an actor, how much of what you just said and sort of knowledge about your character do you try to have going into shooting a season or into a scene, or do you try to let the writing kind of guide you through each day?
For me, I'm really beholden to the script. I think different actors are approach that differently, but from in terms of, I look at the script, and when you have a writer like Graham,
which can carry a lot of
where you don't have to really do anything except play the reality. I kind of trust him, and so I'm just trying to play each scene as truthfully and honest, and sort of find what I can get behind, and where Taylor's coming from, and what he wants, and what is the argument, what is his points, what is he struggling with.
Are you like a question asker when you're acting?
I am. I mean, I am a bit. I'm not a big, like some actors who I can think of in the past I've worked with, ask so many questions. I try to, at a certain point, I just try to accept, it's not always going to be perfect. You're making a television show, and
you got to move. You
have to move, and you can't spend 3 hours on a scene. You're not in a play rehearsal. In a play rehearsal, you could ask questions for weeks.
A good actor on a TV set is like an actor who knows what they need, but also knows the limits of the set itself, TV and movie set. Right,
and there's nothing more annoying, I think, for producers than like somebody who's like punching above their weight, if you know what I mean. Like, if you're a guest star on a television show and you come in, you're like, I don't understand, and I'm gonna, this doesn't make any sense. Shut up, I'm staying in my trailer, You kind of have to know, if you kind of have to know where you fall in the hierarchy, I guess.
Right, you're not number 1 on the call sheet. And
right.
hopefully, number 1 on the call sheet wouldn't do that.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. So.
Let's get some questions from the audience. Who has a question? Who has the question? Right here?
Yeah, hi. So we were talking about, you guys were talking about senior superlatives earlier, and I guess Ricky is class gossip, and you mentioned being most friendliest. The other cast members of Sneaky Pete, what would their senior superlatives, like if you at the end of the the season did a senior superlative thing, what would everyone get?
Oh, is this a real question? You thought about this. This is too good a question.
I feel so bad for accidentally setting that up. Like I didn't mean to set that up, but good work.
That's very good. Oh gosh.
Yeah, you're screwed, man. I'm just gonna put the mic down.
Okay.
Do you want to think about it and we can move on to
yeah, I got to think about it.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, I'm walking a fine line here. Real fine. Let me think on it. It's got to be charming, funny, a little mean, not too mean. A lot of things to balance.
Who's got another question? Right here.
Hi, we're going to take our next question from an online viewer.
Sure.
Jocelyn would like to know, is there anyone on the cast that you haven't gotten to work with enough? And if so, who?
Yeah, I would really love to get to work with all of the family more, frankly. I think that's where the show really blossoms, is when you have Margot and Peter and Marin and Libe and Gio, even though he's a fake family member, is there as well. I would really like to have more of those family scenes where we're all intertwined together. I hope that as the show goes on, we'll get that opportunity, because those are my favorite days, and my favorite scenes too. There's a couple of scenes in the second season where we have these big family dinners, and they're really pretty amazing.
Before I let you go, do you want to try a superlative on anybody? No. You don't have to. I don't like putting people on the spot for stuff like that, personally.
All right, I'll try. Peter, most sexiest. Margot, most. I'm trying to think of something funny.
Funniest?
She's funny as fuck. She is most. I can't think of anything funny enough. Hold on, I'm coming back to Margot. Marin. Ugh, this is hard.
Best dressed.
Best dressed would definitely be. Man, I guess no one really stands out. I'm thinking.
They all dress like hobos, guys.
I mean, Peter can really be flashy. He can bring it sometimes.
Peter gets all the superlatives.
He's a real easy superlative guy because he's so, he's the least talked about genius of acting in America. Mm-hmm. I mean, he really is. I'll take this opportunity to spin off on Peter Garrity, but we are all in awe of Peter. Peter's one of those actors, for whatever reason, he's not, I mean, he's worked constantly, but he should be like a 20-time Oscar winner. He makes it look so, I think he makes it look so easy that you don't even realize what he's doing. And when you get to watch it happen, it's so organic. I mean, even somebody like Margot, who's a true, just one of our great actors, and Giovanni as well, and we're all in awe of Peter. We watch him off screen, and it's just like he's what you want to be when you're his age. There's no difference, between he'll be talking, the camera will roll. There's no setting. There's no getting ready to do it. Like all actors have that. And he's just organic as the day is long. Everything you see.
But that's also part of the process, too, for some actors. I know that one tool that actors use a lot of the time is to sort of be having a casual conversation.
Right.
Sort of just before their lines, and use that to sort of slip in very naturally into the lines.
And we do a lot of that on Sneaky as well. And Peter's just a master. He's a master of it. And it's so effortless, I think, is what's amazing to watch. So he's most sexiest. Margot is most...
You had worked your way out of this. I don't know why you just dropped back in, man.
Yeah. See, the problem is, in order to be funny, you got to be kind of mean, and they have to be here, or else it's pointless.
Yeah, you're just like behind their back, and
Yeah,
it's
you're just behind their back making fun of them.
You could, and if they see it, you have to answer to them.
And then you got to say, yeah, well, I was in front of this audience, broadcast to billions of people.
It's true, billions.
All over America,
The world.
tuning in for Shane McRae. And I made fun of you. So I'm just going to say Peter's most sexiest.
Sneaky Pete season 2 coming March is tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Maybe
on
even
Amazon.
check tonight at midnight. Maybe, who knows? I don't know.
And it's fantastic. I've seen the first 5 episodes.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Shane McRae, everybody. Let's
Thank you
hear
very
it.
much.